All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of the Lesko podcast. It's not just me tonight. It's we're joined by quite a few people. It's Brett, Aaron Zimmerman, Chris Gorky, Joe Quirch. Jared is joining us here in a few minutes. Welcome in, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Excited.
Good. So we're going to talk the state of Penn State football. Are they doing enough? Chris is going to give his piece. We're all going to give our piece, on the state of things, what we think they've been doing, how we think they've been doing in the portal and stuff like that, recruiting, whatever. Chris, Joe, Brett, and Aaron are going to be doing a recruiting show. We're setting up a date and time for that to start. It's going to be its own segment, its own thing. I'll probably host it until Brett kind of gets his stuff down with that. It's not easy, so I'll get that down. But we'll be starting that here soon. Sorry to those of you that were waiting. I just put it up so that you guys know it's coming on, and then hopefully you get a notification when we go live. But so it seems like I like Aaron said, I think we're going to get a few more people. We were having a conversation before we went live, and I wanted to go live so we get all the content on the show. But we're just going to talk about what Penn State's doing right now. So I guess Chris, you start. Joe has to get off at 10 because he's got a date to the movies, going to watch Sydney Sweeney. And
the date is Sydney Sweeney, but yeah.
Right. Well, I wasn't going to say that. I don't want to give it too much personal information out, but because she probably is near where Joe is right now, down in Florida. But for those of you that don't remember, Joe's been on here before, and he's actually named after Joe Paterno. His dad played for Penn State. So, Joe, welcome back in, man.
Thank you.
Chris, go ahead. State of Penn State football. And then we'll kind of
Joe. Whenever I see you in the chat, I see the older picture. I guess that's your father.
No, that's someone else. That's Joe Pa, I think.
Yeah, Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It kind of looked like him. I wasn't sure if it was. All right.
Carlos Quirch is his dad's name.
Yeah. No,
Joe,
you want me to start with the?
Well,
all right.
Real quick, Joe. When did your dad play? Like, give your dad's background a little bit.
So he played.
Sorry, Chris.
No, that's all right. Go ahead, dude.
Well, my dad grew up in South Florida. He went to Hialeah, Miami Lakes. I think he won a state championship there. And then my dad's dad was at Penn State, so he was getting offers from pretty much a bunch of schools down here, like SEC. And then eventually, I forgot how it happened, but Penn State saw his film and he got a scholarship to play for Paterno. He played from 76 to 79, and he has a Fiesta Bowl ring. He had a couple good seasons with them, and he's on the Letterman's wall too.
Oh.
So that's just his background, I guess.
Yeah, man, he's a Joe, and like I said, Joe is literally named after Joe Paterno. Carlos is a Penn State legend.
Sorry. Gus.
Hold on. I got you. Gus, get out of the way. What are you doing?
This is a picture my dad sent of him and Joe, if you could see it.
Yep, we can see it. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, here's his name right here, if you guys can see it. Carlos Quirch. Quirch, number 89. Played linebacker. So right there, number 89, yeah.
What year was it that he played?
79 is when he graduated.
76 to 79. He played with Matt Millen and some of those guys back then. He played with Blackledge. I think he played with Greg Garrity too, didn't he? We've had his son on here. Matt Suey. He was on the 85 Bears, Matt Suey. But Joe. So yeah, Chris, I'll let you go here. But Joe was a commenter, and Joe was just he started watching us and everything, and we just connected. I can't remember how, but you wanted to meet us at the spring game the one year I remember, but it was raining, so we didn't even go. But and I remember you guys had flooding at one point.
Yeah, I was gonna go to one of the spring games, and the airport got flooded, like where I was. I couldn't even go.
Yep.
So I went the year after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just it's funny how people kind of come together. Joe's literally named after Joe Paterno. His dad played at Penn State, and Joe started watching us, and he likes the show. He likes Brett and I, so. And Joe, Joe, and Brett, we talk a lot, so it's good to have you on, Joe. But Chris, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say it's interesting that you're from Florida, because he didn't really recruit in Florida that much. Like Joe was more of a regional guy, and he didn't like, the furthest he usually went was like the Carolinas for like a Bobby Ingram or Courtney Brown. But so that's a cool story. But anyways, no, I mean, I think they did pretty good in the portal. Like I said last time, they addressed a lot of needs. Like some of those Iowa State guys are pretty good football players. We'll see how they do in the Big Ten versus better competition. Like I said, I was just a little disappointed that they didn't go after some bigger name guys like receiver, get a big time D tackle in, since I know we got big body D tackles, but just get some more playmakers, some difference makers, because we were, like I said, led to believe that, I was told over and over again by people in the know, it was talked about on message boards during the coaching search by insiders, whoever the new head coach is going to be, that Pat Kraft wants a guy that's going to be aggressive in the portal, go big game hunting, go after some bigger names. And I get that we had to replace a ton of talent, a ton of roster, half the roster that you couldn't just go out and spend like a drunken sailor. But I did think we would have gotten a few more bigger names and been a little more aggressive for top guys in the portal. And just to give you an example, this is just my take of how my assumption of how Matt Campbell's going about things. And it's basically what we're talking about off air. So just to compare how Lane Kiffin at LSU, having to replace a ton of guys there too. They didn't lose as many guys as Penn State, but they lost a lot. They lost a lot of guys. So Lane Kiffin was at Ole Miss, right? Now, and I don't care about Lane Kiffin's character. That's not what this is about. I'm just talking about his NIL approach. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss compared to Matt Campbell at Iowa State. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, they had good NIL, but I don't think it was what he has now. But even at Ole Miss, he was very aggressive in the portal. He wasn't afraid to go after big names, difference makers, and that's what he did in the portal. When he's now at LSU, he was given $25 million, $25 to $30 million is what he was given to build a roster. So just about the same as Penn State, if not a little less. I mean, who knows if what numbers are accurate, but I'm just saying what's reported, that's what's reported. And he still went big game hunting. He went out. He wasn't afraid to attack the portal. He got a top DN. He got a lot of top players in the portal that didn't just follow him from Ole Miss. And so this theory of that, well, we had to replace so many players, therefore we couldn't do that, that's bullcrap. And what I think is, because Matt Campbell was at Iowa State, they didn't have money. It was Iowa State by name. Just because of who they were, they couldn't attract top talent regularly. So what did Matt Campbell have to do at Iowa State to become successful? He had to go out and identify under the radar guys that were good football players and develop them. And I think he's taking that same approach now at Penn State. Now, surely he's going to go after and try to recruit higher players in the 27 recruiting class, and he's already going after top talent. But I do think when you look at the comparison of, like, again, just Lane Kiffin, for example, at a big university, just always going after top talent compared to Matt Campbell coming from Iowa State, I do think there's a bit of a learning curve maybe for Campbell, where he I hope he doesn't think I could get a little bit of top talent and then just supplement the rest of the team with developmental guys and we'll be fine. Like, I hope he's very aggressive at building this team with as much top talent as he could. That's just kind of like where I'm at with it. We did have just an update, a very good visitor today, Peter Bork. Peter Bork is he's close to a 5-star quarterback for the 27 class. And I don't know how the visit went. The visit was today. He's currently committed to Michigan, but obviously he's looking around a little bit. Now, Michigan's not going to be afraid to spend money. They're a program that spends money, and Peter Bork was interested in Penn State when Franklin was here. So it's good that he's coming on a visit. We'll see how that goes. But I just hope he's not afraid to go out and spend money like all the other top programs do. The other thing I want to say is people need to get the Indiana stuff out of their head. I mean, it's so ridiculous that people keep thinking because Indiana is going to win or is playing in a national championship. They're doing it with 9 4-stars. They're doing it with older guys that were highly ranked guys that they developed. Obviously, they have some good players. Best coaching job in the world. If you think that's the norm, it's not. Please people, don't use Indiana as an excuse for Matt Campbell to go out and just recruit all these 3-stars and think you're just going to copy and paste what Indiana did. It's not realistic. There's a ton of evidence out there that shows, that's not how you build a team, even if things are a little different today. Talent still wins out. Are there busts? Sure. If you have a talent with majority for like 60-70% 4-star guys, they're going to hit more than 60-70% 3-star guys. Shannon Terry, who's the owner of On3, he's the best in the business. I think On3's scouting department is the best. And he put out a tweet talking about the star rankings and why they matter. And here's something about the star rankings when people think they're full of crap is I can't see it. I'm on my phone, so I can't see the comments anyways. But it's not just like some football nerds behind the desk creating these star rankings. These star rankings come from college scouts. They come from coaches. They come from people with a football background. So here's him talking about the star rankings, why they matter. He says, now, Mark, I actually emailed you this tweet. I don't know if you could put it up on your screen, but I emailed it to you.
Yeah,
I'll just read it real quick. It says the math is empirical. It's crystal clear. Last year's draft, 69%, and I'm not just talking 5-stars either. Every single recruiting class, even the top ones, they only get a few 5-stars. Your top talent is made up of mostly 4-stars. But anyways, the math's crystal clear. 69% of the 5-stars were drafted and 65% over the last 3 drafts. So a 5-star is 19 times more likely to be drafted than a 2-star. 4-stars are 7 times more likely to be drafted than 2 or 3 stars over the past 3 decades. That should tell people something. Okay, star rankings matter because the data that goes into rankings and ratings comes from college coaches. There's been a 3-decade mutual information exchange among ranking scouts, college assistants, and now GMs. The entire coaching community provides valuable feedback during the discovery and the slotting process. The argument that the rankings are generated from a bunch of non-former players sitting behind a computer is simply not true. The data is the work of an entire ecosystem, and it's the reason it's been accurate over the years. And the star rankings matter because the teams that most often win the titles, like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, LSU, etc., have consistently been the team over the past decade that have won titles that have annually placed in the top 3 to 5 in recruiting rankings. So it's, I don't know, like when people talk about the star rankings not matter, it's they're ranking like thousands and thousands of people. Okay. I checked, there were 400, I don't know if it's just 5 and 4 stars, just 4 stars. There are 4 stars, 400 4 stars, and of course there's going to be busts. Of course there's going to be busts. You know, player to player, there's going to be busts. But no one could explain why 19 out of the last 20 national champions have all had majority 4 and 5 stars on their roster. More than 50% of their roster filled with 4 and 5 stars. Georgia's last 2 national championships, when they went back to back with those great defenses, was Trayvon Walker a 3-star? Was Jalen Carter a 3-star? Was Jordan Davis a 3-star? No, they're all top 4 and 5 stars. They're all highly ranked recruits. The Kobe Dean, the list goes on and on and on. I now a walk-on quarterback came on for him, but the team, majority of the team, were highly ranked guys, just like LSU was. I know I'm a broken record to some people in the chat that are probably commenting, we already heard this, but I just keep seeing. And here's something I'm so sick of hearing. Fit. Everybody's comeback is, well, fit matters more. And I can't see the comments. Fit
Chris,
matters more.
Can you see the screen? Can you see the
Yeah,
screen?
I'm on my phone. I'm
No,
fine.
you're good.
I don't need
I'm
to
just
see
going
it.
to pull them up for you.
Oh no, I'm just saying, if I'm commenting about, I'm not saying this based on anybody's comments because I can't see it, is what I'm saying. This is just my thing. Like, everybody says, oh well, fit matters. Of course fit matters, but people say fit matters every time we don't go after a big player, every time we don't spend money like other teams. There's this assumption that if a kid wants a lot of money and you bring a kid in, a top player like a Quincy Porter or Mylan Graham, that they're divas, they're bad kids, they're not going to work out. It's total bullshit. It's ridiculous. You know, I mean, there's a ton of evidence out there that shows great players that wanted bags, that still competed hard. They didn't blow up the locker room. Are there going to be some assholes that are divas out there here and there? Yes. But there's always the fallacy of, oh, well, he's a bad fit. I always hear that from Penn State fans when they don't go out and spend money for top players. I've heard for years, oh, let Miami overspend for them guys. They're not going to buy their way to a national championship. Well, look where they're at now. I've heard that for years. So just get the Indiana delusion out of your heads. You still got to acquire top talent. Will you lose some and not retain some? Sure, but you're going to retain most of them. You've seen all of the top players from Iowa State follow Matt Campbell, and did they get some money? Sure, but could they have went other places and got a lot more money? I bet you they probably could have. They're going to stick with their coaches, just like Ethan Grunkenmeyer went to Virginia Tech, just like Tyser Denmark, who Franklin gave no chance to, went to Virginia Tech. So you're still going to retain most of your players. They're not all just going to jump the boat to go for another bag. And if they do, if you sign a kid, and I know this doesn't make sense, like with contracts, if you sign a kid, okay, and he doesn't pan out, let's say you give a kid an $800,000 NIL deal, a top talent, right? And you see he's not working out and he wants to leave, or if he does work out, he wants to go. So you don't keep paying him. You don't have to keep paying him. That's what Penn State did this year with all the guys that Franklin gave deals to. I'm sure Andrew Olish wanted to keep making $1 million, wanted to keep his $1 million NIL deal. They said no. You don't have to keep paying them. You know, every contract, I guess, is written up different, but clearly you don't have to keep paying them because teams don't. And as far as the NIL, so they're given $30 million. Now, something you got to remember, all the players that left, the 40-some, 50-some, however many it is, that portaled out, all that money is now freed up. Like, that wasn't part of the $30 million. So you have all that, like Andrew Olish's $1 million is now freed up. All that extra money from all these other players of whatever Tyser Denmark was getting, of whatever Tiki Hayes was getting, Egan Boyer, Chaz Coleman, all that money is now freed up on top of the $30 million. Okay. And one last thing I want to say, I don't know if I said it here or if I mentioned it offline, is as far as Adidas goes and the revenue sharing, that kicks in July 1st is what I was told. July 1st is when it flips over. So the $30 million they were given, July 1st is when the new revenue starts. The first revenue of last year, it was $20.5 million for all athletics. Football got about 15, 16 million of it. It's supposed to go up a little each year. So I don't know what it's going to be this year, but the revenue's probably going to be in the lower $20 million range. Football will get probably 15, 16 million again. I don't know what they're getting from the Adidas deal, but I do know Tennessee is absolutely using their Adidas NIL to get a lot of these top targets.
Yeah.
Like Chaz Coleman absolutely chased the biggest bag he could. He wanted to go Ohio State. So the money is there. Don't let anybody tell you the money's not there. The money's there. They could go after some top targets. We'll see what they do. I know they're out visiting a lot of top 27 targets. I think Gabriel Jenkins is coming in for a visit. Peter Bork was here. They were out visiting Keemon Spell. They're visiting Khalil Taylor. I know they're setting something up with Matthew Gregory. So that's pretty much my spiel. Hopefully he's more aggressive in recruiting the 27 class than he was with the portal. That's what I got. So
all right.
Hope I wasn't too long-winded.
Yeah.
Joe, you give your piece, man, because you got to get off soon. So go ahead. Chris, you're I wish you could see the comments because Thomas is replying to you. But
I see you guys are texting each other, popping stuff. That's what was throwing me off. I don't know what I know Thomas doesn't agree a lot with me about what I say sometimes, but that's all right. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I have nothing against Thomas.
Joe, give your piece, and then you can hop off, and then Chris, you can see the screen though, right?
Yeah, I can see the screen, no problem. I'm on my phone.
If I pop up the comments, can you see them or not? If I pop them up, can you see them?
Yeah, I can see them if you pop them up.
Can you see this?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, we'll get to it. Joe, just make sure you watch it later on.
I replied to Thomas a couple times, so yeah.
Yeah, I just think for this class coming up, I think maybe he was just trying to we had a recruiting class depleted, so I think a lot of what he was trying to do was just bring in guys that he knew would fit his culture to mesh with the guys currently on the roster. So I feel like maybe that's why he was trying to prioritize just bringing in guys that he knew, just because we had scholarships to give basically. And then, I think we should maybe judge him more harshly on 27, 28 classes. And it seems like he was on the recruiting trail for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think this was just kind of a class to establish culture to pretty much, which is why he brought in so many of his guys.
Yeah. And Jared, we'll get to you, man. Welcome in. Jared is joining us. My whole thing real quick is, guys, Franklin really put us in in my opinion, Franklin put us in a tough spot. He quit on Penn State. That put us in a tough spot. Terry Smith literally took a sinking ship and literally not only took it to the shore, but we ended up winning a bowl game. I mean, it's what Terry Smith did is insane. It really is. I know we won the Pinstripe Bowl and we beat it's still Clemson, but we beat with the starting quarterback. But we beat a Clemson that had a lot of guys sitting out, this and that. Terry Smith did a phenomenal job. He took a sinking ship and he kept it afloat. He gets all the credit in the world.
He probably game planned against Signetti the best out of anyone, and he's been a head coach for 4 years.
The team that is probably one of the one of the most insane stories. To me, one of the best national champions ever. It will be Indiana. Penn State almost beat them after a new head coach took over. 2-3 weeks before that, and the only reason we lost to Indiana is because Jim Knowles couldn't coach a defense to save his life. So, and we had our backup quarterback running QB draws. But Franklin really, really screwed us. So to me, and I've with Chris, like I don't disagree with Chris. I do think Chris is right. I'm just trying to analyze what they're doing and why. And yeah, I try to put a positive spin on it. But when you have what they're doing now, I think a lot of it is honestly, and I don't think anybody wants to admit this, Penn State is not a destination right now. I know it's Penn State, but Franklin really screwed us over when he quit on us and put us in such a tough spot. Players don't want to come here. Players don't know Penn State like we do. We know everyone's going to be fine, but players don't know that. These kids are young. They're dumb. No offense to them, but they're young and dumb. Even the
Franklin
kids
made us a laughing stock. Yep.
He did.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge factor in it. I think kids just don't want to come here. He's bringing in guys that he's comfortable with right now, maybe guys that aren't the best because he wants to develop them, win some games like Indiana, and then we're going to get the big guys. That's my opinion. And again, I don't disagree with Chris at all. I think Chris is right. But I'm just trying to take a little bit of a different approach to why are they doing this? Because I think Matt Campbell's a real coach. So I'm like, all right, they must be doing it for a reason. You know, he's not a moron like the previous guy. But Joe, go ahead and finish up before you need to get off. Are you getting off right at 10?
We're probably gonna leave around 10:15. So I mean, I'm fine, just chilling. But yeah, that's basically all I really wanted to say is that this 26 class, I hope it was just to establish culture, which is why we didn't really go to other schools too much. We got some UCLA guys that fit our D-line coach, and obviously he trusts. I feel like our coaches just kind of brought guys that they trust with them. But it seems like we're.
Can I just respond to that real quick? I for the record, Matt Campbell is a culture builder. That's what he does, and he builds a good, tough culture. So I don't want anybody to think I have absolutely no issue with any of the Iowa State guys you brought in. I mean, you needed to replace 40-some, 50 guys, whatever it was. I have no issue with bringing in the Iowa State guys to build that culture up and establish that culture. I'm just saying you still could have made some big splashes while doing that. That's all. So I just don't want the people think I have an issue with bringing in any Iowa State guys. But when I go on and I look at guys like Heath Jones from Grambling State, who didn't even have a recruiting profile, and I see Division friggin' 3 quarterbacks and shit, well, that's a little nuts. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, it looks like we're going after blue chip guys, especially in state for 27, 28. So I'm looking forward to see how those classes end up for sure. But.
And how could they not like Matt Campbell once they meet him? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Once they meet him and he gets on the trail, they're going to love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing that with me and Chris and Brett and I have talked about it, I think Chris is at the most. I think Chris is just a little too ahead of himself. That's all. That's my only stance. I think we just need to sit back and just be like, this is where we're at right now. We can't. Sure, we should be getting bigger guys, but we're not. We're just not there yet because, this season isn't. We're a lot nationally. We're a laughing stock, man. What happened this year? I said it before. We had the scandal happen here. That was horrible. That was really hard to live through. I was a freshman. I tried out at Penn State. I lived through. I was right there. I was at the front lines when all of that happened. So this year, devastating, dagger through the heart. But man, we've been through worse. So we're kind of in that same situation in a way where we are literally at ground zero. We're starting from the ground level and we're building it back up. So I think a lot of it is the fact that we're not a destination right now. And I get it. And Franklin really put us in a tough spot. That's why I said fire him 8 years ago, but no one listened to me. So they didn't. Now we're here where we're at. So
Mark, could I just respond to that? And I know you always tell me to speak my mind, don't worry. But I really don't think we're at ground zero. We've never been a destination. we've never been a destination spot. Like even when things are going good, like we've never been that cool team. We're still in Central PA, but it's there's an old term you used to hear, people still use it. They're good teams don't rebuild, they reload. And that's what we should be doing, not rebuilding, reloading. Now, obviously, you're rebuilding a different culture, but as far as talent acquisition, money changes all of that. Money, this is all about money today. It is. We are not down in the dumps where it's going to take, where he needs years and years and years to build his culture and acquire all. No, you could bring in players immediately. Look, Justice, you guys know who Justice Haynes is, the running back for Michigan? I think he's one of the best running backs in the country. He's explosive. The guy's a stud. Yeah. He just went to Georgia. He left Michigan for Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all about and listen, we're above Georgia Tech. We're Penn State. We're above Georgia Tech. So this isn't about rebuilding. Yeah, what Franklin did sucked, but it's Matt Campbell's show now. And he could, if he wants to spend the necessary money, like Ohio State, Notre Dame, the people we're going to be recruiting against, he could. It's that simple. It's like I was saying off the air. Keemon Spell, perfect example. You usually don't pay a ton of money for running backs, but he's the best back in the country and probably that good, I would be okay with it. Okay. Keemon Spell's family, I know for a fact, wanted a big NIL deal. Franklin didn't want to give it to him. Pat Kraft stepped in. He said he's only going to do it for like top 10 surefire guys, and he's going to give Keemon Spell's family $1 million. Not his family, but Keemon Spell, you know what I'm saying? All right. Now, if Georgia's going after Keemon Spell, Notre Dame's going after him, they're going to offer that kid probably close to $1 million NIL deal. If we come and offer him $300,000 or something like that, he's going to laugh at us. If we offer him competitively $900,000, $1 million, I'm just guessing those numbers because that's what I heard it was before. What Georgia and Notre Dame's offering him, the kid will come here. Same thing with Khalil Taylor. Same thing. This isn't a big rebuild. This Chris, should be a reload.
Yeah, Chris, I disagree, man. I think we are the definition of starting from ground zero, starting from the foundation, building up. And again, I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying, man. We're not a destination right now, okay? We could offer someone $5 million, man. There's other schools out there that could offer them $5 million. We are not a destination right now. That's it. Like that.
Mark, do you know we had like a top 5 recruiting class before Franklin imploded? The 2027 class this is one of the best recruiting regions. This recruiting region is one of the best.
Because we had a head coach. We had a head coach. We didn't, and now we do. Dude, this is the definition of ground.
But we do now. But what I'm saying is, if Franklin was
right now, man.
If Franklin, it doesn't. Money changes that. Yeah. Yes, what's Oregon? Oregon's remember Pat Kraft? Oregon's a bunch of fucking weirdos, right? That's what he said in his leak. Like money changes that. Like this isn't. You're
right.
I mean, I just think you're trying to.
I know money changes it, but we're not the only school that has money, and we have something against us. We don't. I get it, man. I get it, but they don't know that. That's what I'm saying. They don't know that.
The in-state kids do. All those in-state kids that visit us. So let me ask you this. We know Franklin didn't want to spend money on NIL for top targets, right? So how did he have guys like Khalil Taylor, Keemon Spell, Leighton Von Brent? I know you don't follow recruiting as much as like me and Brett. How did he have all of these top targets without spending money committed, being James Franklin and being he doesn't spend big money? You bring in Matt. These kids are already familiar with Penn State. They're already on the road recruiting them. Terry Smith went to visit Gabriel Jenkins in Amani, and I think they have another recruit there besides Gabriel Jenkins. Amani's coach said he loved Matt Campbell, and Terry's the GOAT. It's not that big of a rebuild, man. It's not. Yes, other schools have money, but Emmanuel Aichano, number 1 offensive tackle in the country. Big Mama didn't want to fly across the country and go to Oregon. If we offered him a reasonable NIL deal comparable to Oregon, he's at Penn State. I said the Brandon Finney piece 100 times. It's not, if you offer, like, yeah, you might miss on a kid from Texas or you might miss on a kid from Florida, but regionally in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Jersey, regionally, if you offer comparable NIL to kids that were already going to come to Penn State, you won't win them all, but you'll get some. It should not be this big rebuild. So, this isn't the same as after the scandal, but I'm sorry, I just get passionate.
Of course not. Of course it's not. No. So Franklin
culture rebuild, but not talent rebuild.
Right, Franklin still got these guys. Why?
You're asking me? I don't know why. He was a good recruiter, but this is what I'm saying. He did it without spending money. We had the top 27 class, and they all decommitted now. He did it without offering them all the money. You get a better coach offering money.
And I think it's a combination of what you're saying, 100%. Campbell, I don't know, but I think it's a combination of Campbell, maybe what you're saying about Campbell, plus the fact that we're maybe not a destination right now. Like I don't know, man. I think Campbell is doing what he wants to do. It's just not. It's not an attractive place right now, man. Like I think that's a huge factor.
Here's a point. So,
but of course, we're still Penn State. We know that. We know that, Chris. We know we're Penn State. But
it's never been an attractive place. It's Central PA. I mean, it's always been.
But there's
like
money
that.
Involved now. There's money involved. So
which helps us which is in our favor. It helps us we're a blue blood program in the middle of nowhere. If other places are a blue blood program in the middle of nowhere, or if other places are like Columbus, a city, Austin, Texas, Longhorns, a city. Being that we're in the middle of nowhere, the money gives us that edge.
Yeah, and Alabama's the middle of nowhere. Michigan, there. I mean, I don't know. There's not like a whole lot around there. Yeah, like I agree with you. It's of course it's the middle of nowhere, but money changes it a little bit. Yeah, but go ahead, Brett. Everyone's going to talk. Like, we'll get to everybody.
There is a world right now too where Matt Campbell and the recruiting staff, they may have called a couple guys that were bigger names, like not the biggest names, and they weren't interested in Penn State. Like that's a possibility. Yeah. We wouldn't have even known.
Yeah, we don't even
know. Came to fruition. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah. It wouldn't have came about at all. We wouldn't have found out about it. So they could have reached out to some guys and just completely whiffed on them because they weren't interested. And that's out of Penn State's control, right? So, but at the end of the day, the portal class is pretty good, pretty solid class overall. Are there a couple misses that we could need right now? Sure. Like when they were announcing that all these players signed with Penn State today, I was a little annoyed because that means that they're probably not going after anybody else, even though we can still get guys for however long, because once you're in the portal, you can still grab guys. So, like I was saying before we got on, would it be nice to get even a decent defensive end, right? Like a decent defensive end with some production.
I agree.
Another wide receiver.
Yeah. And we're not
Mark, you might want to check your text. One of the group texts, I think one of the gentlemen is saying he got a bounce.
Oh, Joe. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. You're good.
Yeah,
man.
I was just saying, like, we're saying this all like right now, but like we're not also saying we're not going to be competitive next year. We still have.
We're going to be good.
We're going to be pretty good. I imagine Rojas and Bacon will start. We have Iowa State was like loaded with like good DB and safety talent, so I imagine Jeremiah Cooper will start. Like, we're still going to be like pretty good next year.
We're going to be really good. We're just not going to win.
And it's an easy schedule.
Yeah. And
Joe, keep talking. You're getting off, so go ahead.
Yeah. And we have an actual coach now, so if we have less talent than the team we're playing, it's not like an automatic loss anymore. So we don't really like if we don't have all the 5-star talent.
Yeah, exactly. We're in a totally different spot right now. Like we're in a totally different spot right now. Like Ohio State, like I'm talking to Mr. Bucknuts. I talk to him all the time on Instagram. Big Ohio State guy.
All right.
he's like, this sucks. You guys got a real coach now, basically, So,
All right,
all right,
guys.
Joe. Have
Good to
fun.
see you.
See you, Joe.
It was nice to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'll be back on for sure.
Send us a video after you recorded that.
Yeah.
All right.
Send us a picture.
I bet you Joe's not going on a date. He ain't going hunting for no 2 or 3 stars. Our JUCO girls. I bet he's going out. I bet he's going for 4 or 5 star. He knows what's up.
Yeah, I talked to Gus. He said he'll take over for me. So.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
Bro,
Joe.
Freaking Gus hasn't said a word this whole episode.
Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Jared Miller, has been pretty quiet up there if you want to let him say a few things.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jared. Yeah. Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, listen, it's just an honor to be on the podcast, guys. I love talking Penn State. I love listening to all the banter because, again, I know nothing about recruit. I know nothing about the transfer portal, so I'm trying to get as much education as I possibly can. But for the most part, from what I've seen and what I've seen from texts from ESPN updates or whatever, the majority of what Penn State is doing seems like it's just an important step forward in the right direction. I know that seems like there could be different ways that the steps can go, but I feel like this is the right way to go with it so far. To know that Matt Campbell is our new coach and he wants to bring in these players from his school because you want to feel as comfortable as humanly possible because this is not Iowa State. I mean, for all I know, Iowa State and Penn State could be kind of similar. I'm not a traveled guy, so I don't know the whole landscape of everything. So I would just assume that it is different, but the culture is definitely more of an expectation. It's not as laid back probably as Iowa State. I think that Penn State has a built-in stress factor that they put on themselves because they want to be the best school in all of the country. But we've seen the limitations. We've seen what guys come in with, and we've seen the coaching. It just seems like there's something that derails all the big names. And I'm not saying Drew Aller is the poster child of this particular subject, but we're definitely seeing a culture that we've tried to be, but I don't think we ever reached it. I think we were always knocking on the door, but no one was opening it up. So I feel like, all right, now this is a new house. We've entered in a new neighborhood. And Matt Campbell, we knocked on his door. He's opened up, and we're about to go into Matt Campbell's world. So it is so early to know what's going to happen. I mean, as far as what we have acquired, great. I think that whatever we have is going to be something you have to wait until it actually happens. As much as you want to talk about it, there's no way we can deter whether Rocco Becht is going to, own the Big Ten or if he's going to know how to handle, Ohio State when he's not going to play them. But I'm saying Notre Dame, Washington and Oregon, those teams like that, who knows what it's going to be like for these players that are entering from the Big 12 into the Big Ten. It's a different animal. I just feel like we have to just pump the brakes on it all and just know that this coming year is just all about transition. It's all about a new era. Yeah. It's just, that's really what it comes down to. These guys need to just find the footing and just really start setting the template for what's going to come in the next couple of years. So as far as I'm concerned, we're looking at most likely 2-3 years minimum before we talk about are we going to compete in the Big Ten again?
Yeah, real quick, and then I want to let Aaron talk and Brett. Yes, Chris, we were promised certain things from Pat Kraft. But that doesn't mean they're not trying right now. Again, I think it's more than anything right now.
They didn't try. They didn't. I'd say, Mark, you keep wanting to put this positive spin on it, and I get it, and I'm not trying to be rude. They didn't try to go out and get Quincy Porter. They didn't try to go out and get Mylan Grant. They didn't try to go out and get the big portal names. I mean, listen, this is why I'm a pain in the ass on the message boards and why people get fed up with me. Because I just call it like I see. It's black and white.
Great.
I'm not a guy that's gonna. I know. I'm just saying. I'm not a guy that's gonna just nod and agree and Like, look for the silver lining, look for the positive spin. If things are good, I'm going to say it's good. I think Marcus Neal's a great pickup. I would like to keep Gronk. I love Rocco Becht. I think he's very similar to Trace McSorley. I like Iowa State's offense. I like, what their culture. I like a lot of things. But I'm not going to sit here and not agree. They didn't try. There were big-name guys out there that they could have got that they made no attempts for. Yet, they didn't. In the portal class, they made no attempts for any big-name guys, hardly at all. So I'm just going to keep it real, man. Now, recruiting, they're going after big-name guys. We'll see but I don't know what they're offering money-wise.
Chris, I know, man. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, if you would have let me finish, Pat Kraft said they're going out and getting big guys. We don't know if they tried to or not. They didn't. That's it. Okay? What I'm saying is, like what Jared just said, we may not be a destination right now. That we don't know if they didn't try. I don't know if they didn't. They probably did. But my point is, at the end of the day, we have a real coach. That combined with higher recruits, we have a coach that has an actual functioning brain now, which is amazing. That combined with good recruits is going to be a lethal combo. But we're just not there. To me, we're just not there yet. We are in, like Jared just said, a 2 to 3 year process right now. We're not a destination right now. I think what it comes down to is there's damage to the program. We have to rebuild that. I agree with you, Chris. I don't disagree with you, man. I'm just saying, like, I think we're just I think.
I know I got to be patient and give it a chance. I'm just saying, like,
you're saying, dude, you're not being patient. Like, you're not.
I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm just calling it like I see it with the portal.
I know, man, but the patience part needs to also be a factor in that, bro.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, yes, Mark.
You just said you need
Mark,
to be patient.
No, you need to be patient to see how it all pans out down the road.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, when you're saying we don't know they didn't try, yes, you do. Like, I get good information from people on the message boards. Every single person they go after in the portal.
And that factors in the destination part. We're not a destination.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't factor in when they don't try. What I'm saying is they're not offering. You could offer a kid and he could say, all right, I don't like Penn State being in the middle of nowhere. It's not, you could say it's trying. They didn't offer these kids.
All right. They don't want them, Chris. They don't want them right now. They don't.
But let's not. But that's not trying. To say they tried.
They're trying in different ways, man. They're trying in different ways. He's getting guys that he's comfortable with right now.
Matt Campbell, like Mark said before, right? And I'm on both ends. I'm on both sides, right?
Yeah. And I'm not taking any sides. I don't disagree with Chris.
No, Matt Campbell is smart, right? He's a very good coach. He has a game plan. We don't know what it is exactly. Like, we think we know what it is, right? But he's going to have more in his toolbox than we can project right now. We just don't know. Yes, he's getting the guys he can develop. He's bringing the Iowa State blueprint over to Penn State. He knows he's going to need more than that to win a natty. Everybody knows that. A blind person who's never watched football would know that, right? But he has more in his toolbox, right? We just don't know what it is. The message boards are great. They do not know everything. There is a lot on there, but it's not everything. Right?
All I was referring to was the portal. All I was referring to was the portal.
That. Yeah, 100%.
That's it. All I was referring when Mark said we don't know, they're not trying for these big guys. Where we were talking about the portal. Portal offers are reported. It is easy to see who they're offering and who they're not offering in the portal. That is made public. When you look at the portal offers they made, and they didn't make a lot of portal offers to big name guys, that is all I'm talking about is the portal. You could see who they tried to go get and who they didn't try to go get in the portal. It's black and white. That's all I was talking about.
I know
get
that.
It, man. And again, I get it, but you're saying they're not trying. Okay, that's true. They didn't try. All right, they didn't try. They don't want them, man. They don't want him. He's trying to build a culture right now. He's a new head coach at Penn
Yeah, I
State.
know that.
You bring in, and excuse my language, but you bring in a bunch of 5-star assholes. It doesn't
Oh,
matter,
man.
It could
Now the
implode.
5 stars are automatically assholes again. We're
No,
back to
they're not,
that.
But you don't know. You don't know, Chris. You don't
know if a 3-star is going to be an asshole.
You don't.
This is what I.
But he's
This is what I
building a
mean.
culture.
1-star is definitely an asshole.
Yeah.
This is what. That's what I
building a
mean.
culture, Chris. That's it.
I understand that.
Franklin
you
is
can't
a
build a
five-star
culture.
asshole.
So
I don't
you
think you
can't build a
understand what I'm
culture and
saying,
bring in
man.
top talent at the same time. You can't build a culture and bring in top talent at the same time. It's one or the other. If you're building a culture, you cannot go and get top talent because that top talent, they're assholes. They're bad guys. You can't. When you're building a culture, no good players at all.
My thing is,
Or
okay,
get good players and your locker room blows up.
This is my thing. Let's let Matt Campbell cook, man. Like we have to
Just
trust
let
the
him
process.
cook, man.
We
Let
just
him
have to let
cook.
it go. Like, listen,
That's been
I'm
my
upset
whole
too
stance.
that we didn't go after an edge rusher, offensive lineman. Like I already announced the people I would have wanted, right? A couple positions.
I actually think edge is pretty good right now, to be honest. But
It's good, but there's no depth. That's the problem. Like we need another guy.
They're moving LeVar. They're moving LeVar to D end. I heard.
He's going to have to gain 30 pounds. That's the
Well,
problem.
he will. I mean, he should in the weight room. But check this out. You got Granville and Camacho 1-2. Then you got the Colorado kid that looks really good, Alexander.
McPherson might even start, to be honest with you.
He's good. And you got Burnett. Mason, Deshaun Burnett came back. Mason Robinson, LeVar. There's a lot of good young talent at the end.
It's going to be superhero right now. There's just not. Yeah. So
it's going to be either Granville healthy or McPherson. It's going to be Granville, McPherson, Yvonne. That's the starting lineup. But let's let Aaron talk. Yeah. Aaron is the quiet, patient veteran here. Army veteran that literally he knows how to not talk because he was in the military. So he's heard way more yelling than this.
All right, you ready? Start position move. Go.
Yeah. So, well, I always take it as when you're talking about athletes, you're talking about people, not math, right? So it's never as simple as here's $5 million. It's never as simple as, oh, you're going to go to Penn State because it's Penn State, or you're going to go to. Everybody's different. We all their players are fans of the game too. Okay, so there's some places that guy's never going to come to Penn State because he hates Penn State, right? He grew up not liking us, right? And the same goes for Ohio State, and the same goes for it happens everywhere, right? And then after that, then it's like, okay, well now, typically when you hear guys who used to play, what do you always hear from them? Like when they talk about what they were thinking about and deciding, they think about things like, I want to play in the Big Ten because I want that competition level, right? I want to play in the SEC because of the speed or whatever. They don't really talk about like, I wanted to play for this specific place unless they were a fan of that specific place, or they grew up watching that football, or their dad went there or something like that, right? So sometimes, yes, some guys are in it for the money, and you're going to see more of that now. Like that's true. Some guys are in it for the money. If you offer them a bag, they'll come play for you. It's that simple. They kind of do the mercenary thing. And then the question is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. But what you're seeing, I think what you're seeing is you're seeing football level off, where Alabama, Georgia, they can't have 5 guys deep of 4- and 5-star dudes anymore. You just can't, because they can't pay everybody a bag. They just can't. You can't pay everybody a bag. So what's happening is there's this shift in mentality that's slowly happening, and it's not like a universal thing. So like what Chris said, where the last 19 of 20 teams were all 50+% blue chip, right? That's 100% true for national champions. So why did Indiana get through? Does it mean everything changed? Well, no. It means Indiana did something different. They're doing something unusual, sure.
Coaching.
But then it's also, there's always like a middle ground where the truth lies on these things, right? So are they just completely flipping the script? Probably not, right? Something changed that made that possible. But does it mean the star rankings don't matter anymore? No, it doesn't mean that either, right? So somewhere in between, you have Kurt Signetti, who figured out if I can't have 5-star depth and I can't have all these super players, you know what I can have in this portal era? I can have a ton of juniors and seniors for my depth who have been training at this level for a long time. And so even if they're not the most physical dudes on the field, they just have better fundamentals because they've been doing it longer, right? You look at their roster, they lose a lot of guys every year right now at Indiana, but that's because they just portal them back. They keep portal, cycling. So is that going to be the long-term solution? Because I think eventually everybody's going to kind of figure out how this portal works and it's going to level off even more, right? But my big thing right now is with Matt Campbell, like, yeah, I would bet that it's somewhere in between. Again, they probably went after some guys and they missed on some of them. And then some guys were just never interested in the first place. And maybe they didn't offer a big enough bag because Campbell's still adjusting, right? But what I will say is anytime you hire a coach where you're doing a drastic change, what they are doing a drastic change. I don't know that I call it like a full, it's more of a roster reset is the way I look at it. But I can tell you, like, most athletes, if you were to talk to them, the truth is them and their coaches at high school level, they don't look at what happened at Penn State and really think much of it. Like, because they know that dramatic things happen in college football. They know that the Sharon Moore thing happened in Michigan. Most of them, they couldn't care less because they know when they get there, it's not going to matter anyway, right? And that's why, like, even in Penn State's case, we had a much worse situation than this 12 years ago, right? And yet we recovered in about 4 years from that. So it's one of those things. I don't think the athletes care that much about that stuff. I think what they care about is the university that they're going to is a place they want to be. The coaches, more than anything, are the guys they want to play for. And then the money they're being offered is competitive with what they want and the overall, because put yourself in their shoes. If you're sitting in that spot and your goal is to get to the big game, the NFL, right? If your goal is to get there, you need the right coaching staff to develop you the right way. And you want to get as much money as you can on the way because there's not very good odds you make it, right? It's just reality. Even if you're a 5-star, you don't have great odds. And so you get in this situation where they have to think about so much stuff. They have so many things they have to think about. And they're, 18, 19 years old thinking about this stuff. So put yourself, when you were 18, 19, that was a lot to think about. Like, you're making a permanent life-changing decision. And some of these guys got good advice growing up. Some of them didn't. And so you're going to have guys like that guy out in Colorado, the offensive lineman, who got their audiovisual department to go ahead and make him a video so he could bail on them with it, right? Like, you're going to have dumb stuff like that because these guys they're not kids, but they're young adults, and we all did silly stuff when we were that age. So I think when you get a new coach like this and you're doing a roster reset, you just got to let him do it his way. Anytime you hire somebody to do a professional job for you, the worst thing you can do is not let them take ownership. I always said this. When I got hired by my company, that was the first thing I said. You hired me to be an expert, so don't tell me how to do my fucking job, right? Let me do it my way. And then if I fail, I'll eat it because it was my way. I'm the one who failed, right? Mm-hmm. So I think with Matt Campbell, that's what I would say is like, all right, it's his job. He's the expert. Let him do it. Let's see what happens, right? So that's my take on it.
He's good at cook. We got to let him cook. We're going to be good this year, right? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and that does not discount anything Chris has said.
No.
Chris knows his stuff. Chris would not be on this show if he did not know his stuff. I don't care if any of you agree with Chris, commenters, whoever. Chris can come on here and say what he wants.
People want to hear the nicey nice stuff, and I'm just here to give it, to be honest, good, bad, or indifferent. I say a lot of positive stuff as much as I say negative stuff. I mean, maybe not lately, but I mean, I'm still very happy with Matt Campbell's our coach as opposed to other guys. But it's just what it boils down to. It's like the message boards are a prime example. I know, I know people don't think message boards are whatever, but they're just a litmus test. 90% of the people on the message boards want a positive spin. They want to hear the positive stuff. I would rather be realistic about things, whether it's good, bad, and different. But here, let me give you some names, like with the whole like diva thing, like, and I'm not attacking anybody or anything. I'm just saying the whole theory of, because I hear it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, that you can't just go get these high 4 or 5-star kids that just want a bag. They're going to be divas. They're going to blow up. They're not going to help the team blow up the locker room. So let me give you some names. Now, Chop Robinson, you know who they said was a diva when we didn't pay him? Harrison Wallace. Harrison Wallace went on to be great at Ole Miss. But when Penn State didn't want to, and he would have been gone who knows, he would have been gone. Maybe Campbell probably would have kept him. But when he wanted to leave Penn State, he wanted to see the ball more, which I don't blame him because they didn't target him, and he wanted a little more money. I was told by everybody on the message boards and people, oh, he's a diva. He's going to hurt a team. He's a diva. Did Harrison Wallace hurt Ole Miss? So here's some other names. Chop Robinson, he was one of the number 1 edge guys coming from Maryland in the portal. Did he help or hurt the team? And just other team names. David Blay, Bear Alexander were top D tackles from in the portal last year. That would have been great with us. Would have been great.
Yep.
I heard, don't overpay for David Blay. Let him go to Miami. Well, now he's starting on Miami. Had a really good year. Gonna win a natty. Did Bear Alexander killed us. Bear Alexander made a ton of plays versus Penn State. Did he hurt or help? These are divas. Remember, the theme is these guys are divas. They hurt teams. They don't help them. Walter Nolan was a top D tackle, left Texas A&M to go to Ole Miss for a bag. Played great, was a first-round pick. Kevin Concepcion, who we were supposed to go after, is the number 1 receiver in the portal last year, one of the top receivers. He went and balled out at Texas A&M. He came from NC State.
He was okay this year. He wasn't great, but yeah.
Oh, he was their best receiver. He was their best receiver. Helped them.
Mario Craver was their but.
So Quinshot Junkins, was he a diva when he left Ole Miss? Did he hurt Ohio State? No, he helped them win a national championship.
Well, I actually think he's a diva out of all those people. He probably
but he helped them win a national championship.
No, he did. But Ohio State.
What I'm saying is he didn't hurt the whole theme is they're going to hurt the locker room. They're going to
Ohio State their whole team is divas. That's why it worked out. Because the whole team is divas.
Oh boy. Either way, they're getting the talent and they won a national championship. My bottom line for me is I want to win a natty. When Bo Nix left Auburn, I think he worked out pretty well when Oregon paid him a ton. I think Dylan Gabriel worked out pretty well when Oklahoma foolishly let him go and Oregon paid him a ton. Dylan Thyman, he was the one of the top safeties from Purdue last year that went to Oregon. That's the guy that intercepted Drew to win the game. Did he hurt? These are all supposed to be the deal. I could give you a million names of guys that went for a big bag, that didn't hurt their team whatsoever, that improved their team greatly, that made a huge difference to their team.
Sure.
You might have one asshole out of every 20 top player that looks for a bag. You might have one guy that doesn't work out, but just blows up a locker room because he's a dickhead.
Yeah. You guys saw Jordan Seaton right now. This is an asshole move. He told Colorado, make a video for me. And they thought it was for his return. It was for the portal.
That was fun.
Brett,
no, that's an asshole move. I'm not saying that's not an asshole move, but they don't have to pay him anymore. Whatever he was making at Colorado, they're done paying him. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, let Aaron go, and then Jared.
Yeah.
Jared is the most patient man in the world. So go ahead. After.
So just saying, that absolutely is true. That you can have guys who are divas and still work. AJ Brown worked in Philadelphia, right? And he's known as something of a diva. But he can also ruin things. And if you watched AJ Brown's tape this year, he might be part of the reason the offense is struggling. So it goes up and down. Sometimes those transfers work. And also, just because a guy wants a bag doesn't necessarily mean he's a diva. He may just be trying, his family is involved in that. They're trying to maximize their success and wealth, right? And I can't blame people for trying to do that. It's more about what's your mentality, right? is your mentality, I want to get paid, but also I want to play great football. Maybe you're not, right? So that's just what I'm saying, man.
Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, like I said, there's guys out there that are like that, but there's the majority of guys aren't. Like when I say diva, I don't mean just. I'm just talking about a guy that's not going to work out, that he's going to be a locker room cancer, and he's going to hurt the team more than he helps them. And the majority of these guys that are top talents that do work out, they help the team. They don't hurt the team. But again, that's, Matt Campbell's building his culture, and it's that, hey, well, can't go get these big, like you just, and I'm not saying to be an asshole towards you guys. I hear it everywhere. I argue with my best friend about it. I argue on the message boards about it. I'm just, I don't know. I just call it like I see it. And it's, I'm not going to pretend.
Chris, Brett and I think you know this, but Brett and I do not disagree with you. I think the only thing that Brett and our approach is you're just a little ahead of it. And the message boards are the message boards. You're probably the only one in there that knows what they're talking about. Seriously. And I wouldn't have you on here if you didn't know what you were talking about. That's no joke. But we think you're just a little ahead of it. That's all. But none of us on this panel really agree with anything the message boards say, because none of us are in there. A lot of them they know nothing about, and they don't and you showed us some of the text. They're like, who the F is Mark Lesko? I'm like, thank you, God, they don't know who I am, because most of them have an IQ of -7, so it doesn't matter. But you give your piece, and that's great. But a lot of the message boards, and I think you know this, but dude, they don't know anything. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They don't. But you do. So we're not the ones in the message board saying any of this, and we don't disagree with you. But we're just being a little. We're being like, I'm just letting it play out. My stance has always been, we have a real coach. I trust them. That's it. I think we're going to be okay. But Jared, for your second time tonight, go ahead and talk.
Well, sticking with this subject of divas. Okay, so you know that I come from theater. I have met many divas, and 9 times out of 10, and I'm going to say 9 times out of 10 with a lot of confidence, they knew what they were doing. In that regard, were they right to feel like they were divas? Yeah, because in the world of theater, okay, not to keep going on it, but there are things that you do when you step up to do your solo. They always say in the South, when you go into a solo, you stomp your feet down and you deliver everything you've got. You become Aretha Franklin in that moment. I'm telling you right now, it is incredible when people stomp down and give their moment. And a lot of these players know how to do that. So,
are you from down south?
I'm saying I've met a lot of people who are in the gospel.
Gotcha.
Like they know that they can command an entire. They will blow that rafter off. I mean, that's just how it works. So these players, if they're divas, they know it. Like in the sense, like they know why they act that way, because they've got the talent. They know how to bring it. But the question is, how do you contain it? How do you actually put it when it matters the most? And does a guy like Matt Campbell have that in him to take care of Big Ten divas as opposed to what he has in Iowa State? Now, again, I can only imagine if Iowa State guys come in and they're kind of like, the middle tier, like what would be that to the music world? Like, you got your respectable, like, I don't know, is Chris Stapleton like in the middle of the pack? I'm not saying like, and then you got like Lady Gaga and Adele over here, just throwing everything off and just being like, okay, I'm not messing with you. I'm just saying, like, there's different levels of this. I'm just saying there's different levels of what guys can bring. And I just appreciate that Penn State has the ability to bring these kind of guys in and know that they can do that on the field. So can Matt Campbell do it? Again, this is really a guessing game. I'm not really – it can't really pinpoint when it's going to matter. But So far, he's going to bring his guys in. I can only hope they make noise. That's really what it's going to be about. If you don't plant your feet, at least be able to get an applause. Like, you don't have to get a standing O. Just please at least get an applause.
Yeah, and Chris, don't jump down my throat for this, but I've said it in the past and I'll say it again. By the way, I asked my dad if he wanted to come on tonight. He was sleeping, so he was already in bed, so he couldn't come on. He was tired, but I wanted him to come on tonight because we would have had 7 people on this panel. We had 6, but Joe Paterno, we went, and again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We went into every single game knowing with Joe Paterno as the head coach, we could win. Every game we went into with James Franklin, we knew we could lose. 10-0 against FIU. I am ashamed of some of the performances that James Franklin coach teams put on. Ashamed. Okay? Joe Paterno could walk into Walmart right now, pick out 22 people, and compete in the Big Ten. All right? Maybe that's what Matt Campbell is doing. Whether any of us agree with it or not, maybe that's what he's doing. He's getting guys that he is comfortable with. That is my opinion. I am analyzing what Matt Campbell is doing. All I know is the previous coach was horrible. He's gone. We have a real coach now, plus Terry Smith. That's all I know. I trust in Matt Campbell. That has always been my approach. I don't disagree with Chris. I just take it as I'm analyzing what they're doing. We have Terry Smith. We have Matt Campbell. He demoted Dan Connor. He let go of Deion Barnes. People are like, why'd you let go of Deion Barnes? This sucks. Or why'd you demote Dan Connor? I don't know, man. I'm not a coach. All I know is I trust in Matt Campbell and Terry Smith. That's all I know. So that's my approach. Doesn't mean I disagree with anybody, but that is my approach. I think it's a Joe Paterno approach right now. I don't care what the age of college football is now. One thing that never dies is real coaching, real football players. That never dies. Indiana is an example. Do I think that'll ever happen again? Probably not. I compare them to 2019 LSU. That'll never happen again. Indiana this year, I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I can't predict the future. But Matt Campbell, I think, in his presser, he did. In his presser, he mentioned Kerry Collins, Kyle Brady. He mentioned legends at Penn State. That tells me one thing. He's got Terry Smith by his side. Maybe he's taking an old school Joe Paterno approach. And here's a bit of an idea for you. Maybe because it worked. What Joe Paterno did is timeless. It's ageless. He's the winningest coach of all time. Several people looked up to him, including Nick Saban, Coach K, Bobby Bowden. Several young coaches looked up to Joe Paterno. Maybe because it worked. Maybe because it's timeless. I don't know, but I think that's the approach that Matt Campbell is taking. That is my only stance on it. That's where I sit. That's where I'm going to stay. That's it. The rest of it is just noise. That doesn't mean I disagree with Chris, Brett, Aaron, Jared, anybody. That's just my stance. That's it.
Well, the Matt Campbell stuff about bringing up
Joe
Kerry
Paterno
Collins,
was the guy who knew how to plant his feet.
He was a Penn State fan growing up.
Who?
Matt Campbell was a Penn State fan.
Exactly. So Joe Paterno, guys, left a legacy that will never, ever die. I think people underestimate how much of an impact that made on not only his players, Nick Saban, protege of Joe Paterno, Coach K, protege of Joe Paterno, Kurt Signetti from Pittsburgh. You think Joe Paterno had an impact on the way he approaches football right now? Probably. So it's just the scandal, all of it, no one knows what people that make jokes, they don't know the facts of the situation. Joe Paterno is the greatest, most famous coach to ever walk the face of the earth. Maybe Matt Campbell's taken that approach. That's it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the man. I don't know. So that's, I don't mean to be long-winded, but you guys go ahead.
Who's up? So let me just say something real quick. And let me finish what I was trying to say when I brought up the whole patient part. I'm not against Matt Campbell. I'm not saying like, oh shit, I'm out on Matt Campbell.
I don't think that at all.
I'm not saying that. But when I mentioned patience, you said, well, I'm still giving him a chance to see what he produces on the field. Like, I'm still giving him a chance to see what he does. All I was doing is making the point when people were bringing up the silver linings and, well, maybe he didn't go after top players because of this or that or blah, 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 blah. He just didn't do it. I'm just saying, in the portal, he didn't do it. Not going to rehash that. I'm just saying he didn't do it. I'm still going to give him a chance. If he goes out and attacks the 2027 recruiting class and he spends what he needs to spend, and we get a lot of these regional top guys like a Khalil Taylor, a Matthew Gregory, a Peter Bork, if we get a lot of these guys, okay, we're good. I see he's doing what he has to do to compete with the big boys. So I'm not out on him. I don't want people to think, but no. I'm just a guy that keeps it real when it comes to the portal. Thought things are going to be a little better. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, and Chris, if anybody thinks that you're out on Matt Campbell, they're a moron because I know that's not true. Yeah. He's been here not even 2 months, Chris. So to me, he's been here not even 2 months. At the end of the month, it'll be 2 months that he's been at Penn State. Since the day he did his press conference till now, the end of November, the end of January will be 2 months. To me, that says one thing. He's not going. Whatever he's doing at Penn State. Rocco Beck said he's a new guy. He's a new coach. Whatever he's not doing is for a reason, in my opinion. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So,
you want to hear a funny Joe Paterno story that I saw the other day? So, you know how, like, Paterno was against having names on the jerseys and having symbols because he didn't like individualism and he wanted the whole team, like, you know, it's a team. It's not. So, I was watching this documentary on him, and he was talking about, you know, growing up in Brooklyn and all, and the Columbus Day Parade was, I don't know what year it was, but regardless, the Columbus Day Parade was coming up, and obviously that's a big holiday for Italians. And a bunch of his Italian buddies called him from New York, asked him to come and march with them in the Columbus Day Parade for Italian heritage. And he was like, you know, they asked me to do that, and they're going to be waving the flags, and the flags got the symbols of the Italian, and there's all these symbols. He was so against like the identities of a symbol that he didn't even want to go march. And he has a ton of pride as an Italian, but he didn't even want to go march in the Columbus Day Parade because of symbols on the Italian flag. That's how against like the whole symbols he was and all that, and like identity.
Well,
but I don't know. I just found that kind of funny. So
you talk about the Yankees, like Joe Paterno modeled a lot of many parts of Penn State football behind the New York Yankees. Black shoes, no names. I don't care if you're a Yankees fan or not. That's one of the most, if not the most iconic. That's one of the most iconic sports franchises to ever exist. Joe Paterno modeled Penn State after the Yankees. So I'm a Pirates fan. I don't like the Yankees, but you know what? They're one of the best of all time. You think of best franchises of all time, like iconic sports brands. Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. Not so much Alabama. They weren't always a powerhouse when Saban was there, but the Yankees, Detroit Red Wings, Pittsburgh Pirates, the Red Sox. The Pirates are a pretty historic franchise. That's why the fans are so mad. But, greatness is greatness. And when you model greatness when you model your team after greatness, like like Joe did with the Yankees or whatever it is, you know, you're doomed to repeat it. You know, if you want to become great at something, follow someone who's already great at it and model what they do. That's a story as old as time. Kobe Bryant modeled his game after Michael Jordan. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that Penn State is so great is because they modeled a great franchise in the Yankees. So that's Joe Paterno. He is what he is. He's from Brooklyn, you know. It had a trickle down effect. So
not allowed to wave the Italian flag, man. Isn't the Italian flag the symbol of all Italians? It was just funny watching that, how against it he was. He would even complain about a truck driving down the street. If there was a truck, like, delivering some kind of product, like, for some food distribution, like Ferraro Foods, he didn't even like seeing signs on trucks representing the company. That's how against it he was. Oh, funny, man.
Chris, which documentary is it?
I don't remember. There's so many on there. If you could pull it up. It was a lot. Well, it wasn't short. I know it's pretty long.
Yeah, try to find out which one it is so we can watch it. But I watched one recently. Jay Paterno's in it. It's just like Penn State football history, you know. But
the one Jay does is pretty. I don't like Jay Paterno. He's a total douchebag. But
yeah, I mean, who does?
The documentary he did was good though. Like that was like well, you know.
The problem is Jay Paterno doesn't like Jay Paterno. That's why. So, yeah, that's kind of the problem. Yeah.
And I want to say this. I want to say this. Like anytime I've spoken to Jay Paterno, Jay Paterno. Anytime I see him, it's, you know, I don't know him personally. I've never like talked to him like long term, but anytime I see him, it's a, hey, I've seen you before. How you doing? You know, hey Jay, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? Like I've seen him enough that he like recognizes me. Jay Paterno is a very nice guy when you talk to him on the street. He's a very nice guy. I just want to say that. But Brett met
Steve Jones
the other day
last week, Chris. Yeah,
and he said
he sounds just like Jared, man. Get that guy on. You could do an impersonation.
Yeah, Chris always says Jared sounds just like Steve Jones on the radio. But Steve said he's listened to us in the past, so that's
Steve Jones likes the show.
So does Landon.
Steve's a good dude.
Steve's a really good guy, man. It was good seeing him.
Yeah,
I'll have to send you a pic, Chris, if you didn't see it.
Yeah, and Brett called me. He's like, "Yeah, man, he's such a nice guy, such a genuine guy." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, like that's Steve Jones. Like he's always been like that." Yeah. But hold on, Joe Paul's got a story.
I think I found it.
Ah.
Yeah, of course they did.
Oh.
What are you guys saying all to?
Just that story from Joe Paul.
Yeah.
I found the documentary if you want it.
What's it called?
Joe Paterno documentary from 2002. We are Penn State because of Jopa. And it's not new. Cole 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 Kitchen is whose page it is.
Yeah. Cole Kitchen, he's the man. I've tried to get him on here a time or two. He is I think he's just a really private guy. But him, ArcLife, ArcLife. If you don't know who ArcLife is, follow him on YouTube. He plays every old game. Like I was watching 1997 Pittsburgh versus Penn State when Mike McQuarrie had the aim of a drunken hunter.
I was at that game.
Dude, Mike McQuarrie was so inaccurate. Like I love Mike McQuarrie, but anyway,
at that time that he set the single game Penn State passing record that game. I'm sure it's probably been broken, but I remember that game. He broke the passing record that game.
You can thank the receivers for bailing him out.
Chris, what was the name of wasn't it Mike Walsh, the head coach of Pittsburgh? What was his name?
Oh God, there was a Walsh. I forget what year was it.
97, and I think Curtis Enos was in the doghouse that game because Aaron Harris was playing. Aaron Harris is playing more than him, but absolutely, I had AJ Wallace on here, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I was in Joe's doghouse." I'm like, "Yeah, I remember."
Walt Harris was the Pitt coach. Walt Harris was the Pitt. Yeah.
What did I say?
Walsh, something Walsh. We were close.
Okay, Walt Harris. So, and I'm not trying to get off on a tangent. I'm sorry, but if you watch Arc Life, he plays all the old games. I watched Penn State versus Pitt, the whole thing, 1997, because my earliest memories was like 99, when LeVar was big, Chaffee Fields, those guys, not Curtis Enos, but Aaron Harris. But one of the best documentaries during the scandal was, I think it's called, is it Happy Valley? There's another documentary where they pretty much just follow Kevin Horney, Kevin Horney is on Landon's show for the blogging. He's on there all the time. Kevin Horney, I knew him when I was in college. So this one documentary they did on Penn State during the scandal, they just followed Kevin Horney pretty much, who is now an attorney. But that's one of the better documentaries to watch. Speaking of what Chris was bringing up. But yeah, Chris, can you bring up the link? Can you put that in the chat?
I don't know. Oh, while I'm on my phone, hold on. Let me go on my computer and I'll try to. I don't know how to. Let me see.
But this is at the 2012 whiteout. There's me and a pink Care Bear, and Kevin Horney is right there. So I did.
Oh, I see you.
I did. Yeah, there's me. I was all white. We were in Paternoville, and there's Kevin. He was in our group. So it was Kevin, Steve, dude, I can't remember their names. But I used to go to the gym with this dude. He was like 6'4", 260, pure muscle. Doug Rohrbaugh, his brother was a long snapper on the team. Mike and Jack. And I gave this girl Reese's Pieces. I remember that. But we were on TV. Like, we were actually on TV during that game. But that's Kevin Horney. Like, I knew Kevin in college, but Kevin Horney, the guy that most of you know from For the Bloggy, yeah, he's a good guy. Kevin's a good guy.
I don't know how to. This whole thing is screwing me up here. I don't know how to link it from my phone. I mean, I just got the whole chat up now. It's even blocking your.
You can just send it in the group thing, man. That's fine.
Yeah, well, I'll link it below, Chris.
Yeah, send it in the text.
Well, just type. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me see.
Aaron and Jared, the two biggest talkers on the show tonight. Do you guys have anything to say? Anything else to say?
Well,
I mean, honestly, I think we've exercised as much as we can from this one. I know that Penn State is in a better place than it was with Franklin. Yeah. The culture has just been so lost for
That's
so
my
long.
mindset,
I mean,
man.
There's just something about it was just so in a fog. It was all over the place. I mean, it was a maze and a half. Like I just know that a guy like Matt Campbell, with the way he conducted himself with, the conference, he opened up, how he was going to do things and how great he was to be a part of this new era. Like, and to know that we have a guy that has that much passion, has that much, enjoyment for life. Like, he just seems like a great guy. I'm very happy to see that we've got a guy who seems a little more level-headed. Like, again, there is something to be said about a diva where James Franklin, I mean, he tried to plant his feet, but it got caught in the, the gutter. Like, I just feel like he just never knew how to do it properly. He knew how to send it, but it was off key. It was bad. I just feel like this is definitely one of the more important moments of Penn State. I mean, we talk again. I love the comments, guys. By the way, huge wrestling fan, huge volleyball fan. I very much appreciate a lot of things that come out with Penn State. Of course, the hockey team, fantastic, amazing.
Wrestling.
But like the football team, guys, this is something that people keep talking about with this or with our university, where it's like football, isn't it always great? I mean, we want it to be great, but it has not been truly great for quite some time. So we can't really say that we can put ourselves with the wrestling and the hockey team or the volleyball, because again, they're the ones that really plant their feet in this university. We're the ones who are trying to get on that stage. We're still a little gun shy. We don't know how to, put our solo out just yet. I just feel like give Matt Campbell a chance, and I think this choir will sing. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Matt, you love music. You love music, don't you?
Yeah. Jared's a theater guy. So Jared, through Jared's connections, we got Jeff Brown on here. Legendary broadcaster from State College. Someday we'll have Steve Jones on.
And through his internet connection right now, we got Florida weather. Look, you can see the humidity on his screen.
Who?
Yeah.
J-Rod.
Sure.
I said his internet connection is embracing Florida humid weather.
Yeah. So I just want to say this real quick, guys, before Aaron gives his piece. And this might sound corny, but every day, what I try to do every day of my life is I try to have one of the most priceless things in life in general, whether you're where you're at, where you want to be or not, is gratitude. Every day. And I wasn't always like this, but one thing that I've trained myself to be every day I wake up is grateful. Having gratitude for everything that I have. All right. Gratitude is a very great thing to have. Every day I wake up, I try to have gratitude for everything that I have. The family that I have, the family that I've lost, having learned what I've learned from them, the friends that I have, the podcast, the job, my health. I'm able to go to the gym every day and do what I love. Gratitude. Have gratitude every day I wake up. So when I say I'm grateful for having a new coach, that's just part of my identity. Like, I am grateful that we have a real coach now. I love Penn State football. So, yeah, if I'm being optimistic about what Campbell's doing or this or that or whatever Penn State football is doing, that is a huge part of my life. So I am just grateful, for example, that we have a real coach now. Maybe I'm not seeing the full picture, like, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, like they should be doing this, they should be doing that. Maybe I'm a little naive to some things that are happening, but I am very grateful that we have a real coach now. It has been 12 long years of mediocrity. We never lived up to our potential. This year literally exposed everything I've been saying for years. Everything. It's exposed everything. So I am grateful that we have a real coach now. So I am going to believe in him. That is my approach. So I think everyone, whether you're a listener or whatever, just have gratitude. Just have gratitude for whatever it is in life. That's my approach to life in general. That's approach to my everyday. That's my approach to Penn State football. I'm just grateful. So, Chris, you all right?
You're very sentimental tonight, man. No, I don't know what to say. I just got to wait and see what happens. I was going to say, you guys want to meet up? If you want to meet up for the blue-white game, the spring game, we could maybe get together to meet up.
Yeah.
If you guys go to the spring game, you guys live
Sure.
right there.
Yeah, I've
something
never
to do.
been to one,
breaking
actually.
breaking the Matt
Me neither.
Campbell era. Jared will fly up from Florida. He'll sing us a few songs. I'm going to nominate Jared to sing the national anthem at the blue and white game. You
He'd
got
be
it,
good
Jared.
I'm getting
You
my
got the
voice
role.
back, so I'll be ready.
Aaron, you got anything else to say?
I'll just end on. There's a thing I always say when we get in front of a client, and I have to tell them how we're going to rebuild everything because their network sucks, right? And I always say to them, you can have all the money in the world. I can give you every resource, all the data, everything you could possibly need. If you do not know how to manage and use it, you might as well flush it down the toilet. It's going to be completely useless to you. I could give you $50 million. If you don't know how to manage your money, you're going to piss it away. It's not going to matter, right? So the question is, what can you do with what you've got? And that's what we're going to have to wait and see with Matt Campbell. What can he do with what he's got? I would say you can win this thing with 3 stars. You can win it with 4 stars. You can win it with 5 stars. But it comes down to how do you manage it?
Yep.
And do you know how to use what you get? So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think, next year they're going to be breaking it in. But if he gets the guys that he needs to work with his setup and work with the players and build the right rapport internally, then yes, you can win with those guys. It's just going to be a question of how does he, how good is he at managing that room? And some of that is managing divas, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got guys who don't fit the mold, and you've got to learn how to take their energy and point it in the right direction as a leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had all the time in the military. You have to work with people you're not used to working with, or maybe who just don't work well with others. You run into that. But
yeah, and one thing I will never understand personally is Aaron and what he went through in the military. Hurry up and wait. I will never truly understand what that means, but I do know what patience is, and we just need to be patient. Again, that does not mean I disagree with Chris in any way. And Chris, I don't know if you've read some of the YouTube comments, man, but man, they're going after you, man. They are. They're like, Chris, like, shut the F up. That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah, no, look it. The majority of fans, it's what I said. When you guys were laughing and shit earlier on, I knew that's what it was about. The majority of fans, and this is every team, not just Penn State, they're sunshine pumpers. They want to hear the positive spins, the nicey nice stuff. When Nick Singleton was signed, everybody was jumping for joy. Said the guy's a hell of a player, great back. I said he has issues. I said he doesn't have elusiveness. He can't meet people in this. People jump down my throat. 3 years later, they're saying, wow, sorry, you were right. Listen, guys, if you don't like a realistic person, then I don't know what to tell you. I won't come on. Don't listen to me. It is what it is. I follow this stuff like religion. I know who they offered. I know who they didn't offer in the portal. They did not go after big top portal names like we thought. If you guys have a hard time coping with that and spin your positive stuff to somebody else, I'm always going to be myself. I turn a lot of people off like that. I get it, but I'm never going to be fake. You're never, ever going to hear me look for one constant silver lining after another when, it either is or it isn't. It's that simple. Well, we'll see what he does with 27 recruiting class.
Yeah, Chris.
I know half the people in the friggin' chat think you could do what Indiana did, right?
Yeah, and
they probably think you go out and do. Jesus.
Regardless of whatever any of you think, commenters, the chat boards, whatever, if you listen, Chris is going to come out on here and talk. So whether you like it or not, he's going to keep talking, and you guys are going to keep bitching. So Chris actually has his face on a screen. You guys don't. You're a bunch of morons in a chat with Viper123 as your freaking profile name. So Chris is going to have more airtime than all of you. So the more you complain,
if anybody wants to come up and have a discussion with me, I'd happily hash it out with them.
Yeah, but
that's
they
up to
won't
them.
do that. So They're a bunch of.
You know, Mark, you tried to have a gimmick with me. You said I need to have an apron, because I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking and everything. I think what we need to do with Chris is that we need to have a rocking chair. We need to have Whittle. We need to have like a spittoon bucket, and he can be like Grandpa Chris, where he's just kind of going to hash out his stance for all the youngins out there. They're going to listen up and they're going to say what Grandpa Chris is going to say. That might be something you might want to think about.
You're like, these goddamn kids complaining all the time.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't know. What do you want me to do? It's just, I don't know. It's
Chris is, and I said this to you, I don't know if you saw it the other day, Chris, but I said, Chris, it doesn't matter what you do. If you take a stance, people are going to have pushback. So
Sure.
It is.
Can I tell you a quick story about something that happened last night? You want to hear the pushback I got? This is totally off topic. So, how I listen to mob stuff. So I was listening to Angel Gotti last night. I'm not going to be long-winded. I'll tell you something quick about this. So there's this guy, this mob tube. They call it mob tube instead of YouTube. All these people have channels. They all fight. They all hate each other, whatever. And there's a guy that goes by, have this channel named Tony Soflo. And he's a Cuban. He lives in Miami, right? And all these rumors came out. All these people hate him, saying he was deported and he's deported. All these channels were going after him, saying, great, the guy was finally deported. And I have a buddy of mine that knows him, says he wasn't deported. So he disappeared for a month, and all these rumors were going on that he was deported. So out of nowhere, Angel Gotti, who is John Gotti's daughter, and I was in her chat last night, is the guy, this Tony Soflo, pops up in the chat. He goes, here I am. I'm not in the detention center. He shows himself in the hotel room. First, it was an audio. So all the people that wanted him deported said, that's just an audio. He's not showing his face. Then the guy shows his face. Oh, well, that's inside. It could be in a detention center. Show me a license plate. Show me a phone book. The guy goes outside. He shows a phone book. He already shows a license plate. He's walking around freely outside in Florida, I guess. And there were still people that see, people want to go with their narrative. If the narrative is positive, the narrative for that guy was, no, for a month I said the guy's deported. I can't be wrong. The guy was walking around the USA, showing USA license plate outside, and there were people still saying, oh, no, he's deported. And I'm in there. I said, you guys were wrong about everything. And people were snapping out on me. It's like, holy fuck. I know that probably made no sense to you, but it's just, I don't know. I've never gotten out of spinning, even for myself. Like, people would say, oh, look at the bright side, or if you're down, you could, like at work, somebody would joke around, hey, you going to get a hot girl tonight? I said, no, I'm 290 fucking pounds, dude. I ain't going to get any no hot girl. I said, I'm a fat shit. Like, that's real. I'm even real about myself. People sit there and say, like, oh, you got to have, like, I don't get anything out of fake positivity, fake spins. So even towards myself, even with myself, it is what it is. Like, I take things for what they are. I don't spin bullshit.
If I, and Brett knows, man, if I even remotely let half the comments bother us, I wouldn't have a show. I mean, we have several. That's the thing. I've always told Brett and Jared specifically, who are on this show, if you don't know your stuff, they are going to eat you alive. So in order to be on this show, especially be a part of this show, you need to know your stuff. Everybody that comments to us, the thousands upon thousands of comments that have been on the show, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, combined IQ of like -1. None of them have ever made a solid point. None of them have ever cooked Brett or I. We've always cooked them. That's what happens when you know what you're talking about. So it is what it is. Like, Chris knows his stuff. He doesn't need to explain himself. No one needs to know. No one needs to explain themselves.
That's nice, Thomas.
Jared's a real one. Chris is a real one. That's why they're on here. So you got to know your stuff. You got to know your stuff, because if you don't, people will expose that. Seriously, you can't be disingenuous in the podcast world. You can't be disingenuous in the sports world. Joe Rogan, at the end of the day, he's himself. Whether people agree with it or not, he's himself. And That's all you got to be. So, yeah, it is what it is, Chris. Like, people say what they say.
No, so I told you I couldn't see any comments. All I see is the ones you put, the few that you put up. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I mean, I know what these people are like anymore. I mean, it's just people want the positive. It is what it is. It's
6'2", 300. I mean, that's undersized on this team. Our center is 6'4", 290. So
we'll take him. I mean, we need another O-line guy. We'll take it, Thomas. We'll put you at interior O-line. We're going to put 30 more pounds on you, though. 15.
You can make predict. I don't like how well you guys know the teams. I was thinking more about the RB spot, how we're talking about RB1. And the more I look and watch Carson Hansen and other guys, I am fully convinced that Quinton Martin should be RB1. Hansen is a solid, tough runner, but he's not a burner. He's like a 4.6 guy. He's not going to be explosive.
He's a down package. Third down.
Grind. He could catch the ball. He's a grinder between tackles. James People has a little more shake to him. He's not a burner either, but he's more elusive. I think your best back is if you want an explosive back that can make guys miss and take it the distance, I think that's Quinton Martin over Carson. So Hansen. Sorry.
I like them all. They're all a little bit different.
Yeah, I just want to say
I could see Peoples breaking out, but Quinton Martin would be my first choice too.
I just want to say, I know Brett is going to be shocked by this, but I think Quinton Martin should be RB1. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I'm
Brett.
Yeah, I know you love Quinton Martin.
It's not like you, Mark, at all, but Quinton Martin. I think it's going to be either Hansen or Quinton, and then it's either going to be Quinton or Hansen, and then I still think, even though RB1's a battle, RB2 is going to be a battle too. It's going to be Hansen,
all
Quinton,
three of them are going to be a battle. They're going to play a lot. Yeah.
But and I think Peoples is pretty underrated. Like, I think a lot of people aren't truly. There's a lot.
No, Peoples is a solid pickup. He was a solid pickup.
Yeah.
So, but Thomas, basically, going off of what you're saying, I'm playing on a semi-pro team. So that helmet back there, that's my semi-pro football helmet. It was pink and black. We were called the State College Flash. It was after a strip club. We used to go to the strip club to pick up our equipment. So everything that is in a strip club, we would see going to just pick up our equipment. We would lift in there. But anyway, I painted that white and blue. So that's not a real Penn State football helmet. That's my semi-pro helmet that I painted white and blue, but just going off of what
Thomas, what team could you say what team you're playing for? If you don't want to, it's okay. Just curious what team. They used to have some of those around where I live too.
Yeah, is that 8 versus 8, Thomas? That's what I did. I think it was 8 versus 8. And it's on a short field too. Or was it? Yeah, I think it was 8 versus 8.
They've had so many of them.
Like 60-yard field, I think. That's what I played.
Like where I live in the Wilkes-Barre area, they used to have the Wilkes-Barre Stallions and the it's called the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Stallions, and there's another Scranton Wilkes-Barre team. I forget the name of them. But, you guys familiar? Tri-County. Okay. So you guys familiar with Pottsville, PA? I'm sure you heard of Yingling and all that. Pottsville, PA, you guys heard of, right?
I've been there.
Yep.
All right. So do you know that this is an interesting story? And because I worked right outside of Pottsville, that they actually had an NFL football team that won it all one year. And I guess this was way, I don't remember what year. This was obviously way, way back.
Yeah.
And they actually played the Four Horsemen team from Notre Dame and beat them. Yeah. And because they played this is what I was told, because they played the Four Horsemen, they kind of took away their title because they weren't supposed to play a college team. I don't know the exact story, but this is what people at work told me. But anyways, that Pottsville team, they're called the Pottsville Maroons, that went from one organization to another, I think are the current Washington Commanders.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
anyways.
I remember hearing that too, Chris. I remember where I saw that. It was on some football. It was an NFL documentary or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I just figured.
Yeah, I'll say this. When I played semi-pro, like, you played against some legit guys, like guys that played in college, guys that used to play in the NFL.
I was just answering that comment.
Yeah, at that time I was like 6'1", 220, and I played corner. So most corners aren't that at that time aren't that size. I played corner, and and I played corner. So our linemen were like they were huge, but I took a hit from a former NFL running back. I went in too high. He put the crown of his helmet into my sternum. Now this was like the second play of the game. I was playing corner. So the rest of the game, I couldn't lift my arms. I thought my sternum was broken because I took a hit from a former NFL running back. If they would have thrown to my side, I'd been running with my arms down because I couldn't lift my arms. So semi-pro is legit. They have some good guys playing, and the hit that I took from that guy, man, I'll tell you, it hurt.
Can I answer Joe's question real quick since he's asking me about Jimmy Hoffa? I'll be quick about it.
Oh, Joe Pa, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Pa, thank you for the memberships, and Gambler, thank you for the donation. I'm trying to find it here.
So what happened with Hoffa, and I know this because the guy that you might think I'm crazy. The guy that ordered Hoffa killed is lived right down the road from my house. The mob boss that in the movie Irishman, Joe Pesci played Russell Buffalino. Russell Buffalino lived right down the road from my house. And his relatives, well, he doesn't have a big family, but they're still in this area. Jimmy Hoffa, the big union leader, most people, except for younger guys, would know who he is. He was in cahoots with the mob. They were like the mob would give him muscle, and then they would use his pension fund to build casinos. Hoffa was thrown in prison. When he got out of prison, the mob helped get him out by giving Richard Nixon money to pardon him. And the condition of his pardon was he couldn't be in the unions anymore. Hoffa didn't want to accept that, and he started making threats against the mob. It's my union. I want to be back in. So, my neighbor, along with other guys, but mainly the guy that lived down the road from me, Russell Buffalino, tried to warn him several times, keep your mouth shut, keep your mouth shut. He wouldn't do it. They lured him to a house. They killed him, and they're outside of Detroit. And they cremated his body. That is a true. The cremation part in the Irishman was a true story. There was some mob guys outside of Detroit had some kind of ownership in a funeral parlor / crematorium, and they cremated his body. In fact, in the book, I Heard You Paint Houses about Frank Sheeran. He knew he was going to have to be part of Hoffa's killing, and when Buffalino asked him, they're eating dinner. Sheeran didn't want to have to do it because he liked Hoffa, and he said, "What about the body? They're going to find it." And Russ took his thumb, rubbed it in an ashtray, and said, "There'll be no body, ashes, ashes, dust to dust." And they cremated him because there's these ridiculous, asinine rumors for ever that Hoffa was buried under Giant Stadium and all that, and he wasn't buried. There's a reason they never found the body because it was cremated.
Well, I mean, you could get into Ray Gricar, Cindy Song. Central Pennsylvania has been home to some of the most mysterious disappearances in the entire existence of humanity. So, do you know what happened to Ray Gricar, Chris?
I only follow mob stuff as far as that goes. I don't know. I'm not a big true crime guy.
All right.
Stuff.
All right. Ray Gricar is buried under Rockview Prison. Cindy Song is buried somewhere out near me. So we'll rest that. But back to football, guys. Anything else?
No, I'm out of it at this point.
I'm good,
Well,
bud.
Brett texted me, said he wants to keep going, but we should probably get off here. So
I'm tired.
Aaron,
man.
Jared, anybody else?
Oh, I'm still bummed.
Good man.
I'm toast.
Joe
I'm
Paul.
reading
Can't
about
we
Ray
trust?
Gricar now.
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Thomas, I would love, honestly, if you said tomorrow, put the pads back on, I would. So if you guys have any openings on your team, let me know. Semi-pro is fun. A lot of fun. But, all right, guys. It was kind of all over the place tonight. But, Chris, thank you for coming on. Aaron, thank you for coming on. Guys, if you can, stay on after we shut it down. We can, talk a little bit. But, Jared, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Brett, I know you're new, but thank you for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for coming on tonight. And we will see you guys soon. I think the next episode will be recruiting. I'm going to get that finalized. But thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the support. and we will see you guys again soon.
Good night.
Hey,
Later, guys.